Hi, everybody. This is Jennifer Schaus, and we're coming to you live today from Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us in our webinar series covering big tech in federal government contracting. This is a 15-part webinar series, complimentary every Wednesday. Our webinars are recorded, and you can find them on our YouTube channel, along with 700 plus, I think we're up to 730. Today will be 731 government contracting webinars. If you hop over to our YouTube channel, and just use that link that you see there on the screen. You can subscribe to the channel. It does not cost you anything. All of our videos are complimentary, and you'll be alerted when today's webinar is uploaded, as well as any other webinars that we post. In the event that you're watching the YouTube replay, give us a like, leave a comment. We would love to hear from you and hear your feedback and thoughts. Okay, a little bit about us. We've been in the federal contracting consulting business for 20 plus years. As the screen says, we are based in downtown DC, and primarily we're helping companies with everything from market analysis to proposal writing, pricing support, and primarily helping companies get onto the GSA schedule. If you need any of these services, you can drop us a line over at the hello@jenniferschaus.com. Separate from that, we do have opportunities for companies that sell to federal contractors. This includes advertising in our newsletter, sponsoring our webinars, as well as our events, and you're going to hear about that in a moment. If you want information on how to reach government contractors, send us an email and ask for our media kit. Our 2025 media kit is almost complete, and we'll have that ready for you all at the end of the month. We do have an event coming up. It's a networking event over at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. with 300 to 400 government contractors. The companies that you see here are our sponsors. I believe we are currently sold out of sponsor tables. Our event partner is BidSpeed, and we're happy to have our in-kind sponsor, the Virginia Apex Accelerator. And you'll hear about them and some of these other companies in a couple of moments. On the government side, here is who we have confirmed attendance from, heavy on DoD. So in the event that you are selling to DoD, just keep this in mind. They will be there, and they're more than happy to talk to you. We'll also have folks from USAID, SBA, and Amtrak. Again, these will be the small business offices, so we encourage you to take a look at the procurement forecast before you come so that you are talking about specific opportunities with the government. If you do need help getting onto any of these contract vehicles, please drop us a line again to the hello@jenniferschaus.com, and we'll be happy to schedule a consultation to ensure that these contract vehicles are in your best interest and that you meet the requirements. Okay, a little bit about the series. As I mentioned, we've got 15 webinars that we're covering on 15 different companies, looking at big tech and their intersection with the U.S. federal government market. Here is the schedule, everything that is grayed out we have completed. You can find those videos on our website as well as the YouTube channel. Today we're covering IBM, so we're almost about halfway through. We will skip the week of Thanksgiving, which will be Wednesday, November 27th, but we have a full schedule ahead with some interesting companies that we've already covered and some to currently look at. How do we get the data? Through our friends over at Fed Consult, that's Artisa Meehan, and GovSpend. GovSpend provides government procurement data and analytics to organizations buying and selling in the public sector with transparency and accountability at the center of what they do. They strive to place data-driven insights into the hands of federal, state, local, and education customers so that they can win more government contracts. The federal solution, which is the FedMind platform, harnesses data from 19 federal sources and empowers federal agencies to seamlessly explore the market, gain valuable insights through comprehensive spending analysis, and access detailed vendor profiles in real time. Our in-kind sponsors and partners who we want to thank include the following organizations. So we want to thank our friends over at GovEvents. That's the premier platform for posting events related to government and government contracting. You can find all of our webinars and our events and recordings on govevents.com. We also want to thank Tom Johnson and his team at Set Aside Alert. That's the go-to publication for contracting opportunities for small women-owned, veteran-owned, HUBZone, and 8A firms. Visit setasidealert.com for more information. Also, the Fairfax County Economic Development Group is a great resource for businesses in Northern Virginia. Please visit their calendar to learn about events, trainings, including this webinar series. As I mentioned, the Virginia Apex Accelerator is a partner with our upcoming event. The Apex Accelerators were formerly known as PTACs, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, whereby they provide training, one-on-one counseling, mentorship, matchmaking services, and more. To learn more, you can either jump on their training calendar, you can call them at the phone number that you see on your screen, or you can shoot an email to apex@gmu.edu. Apex Accelerators are typically co-located with the university. Our local one here in Virginia is co-located at the George Mason University. Corporate sponsors, we absolutely have to thank them. Without them, our webinar series would not be complimentary. So allow me to introduce each of these companies individually. FedBiz Access empowers small businesses with the tools, resources, and expertise needed to succeed in the federal marketplace. With over 23 years of experience, the team has helped clients secure over $34.7 billion in awards. They guide businesses through the complexities of government contracting with innovative marketing solutions, personalized support, and a steadfast commitment to success. By fostering strong relationships and delivering exceptional results, they've become a trusted partner for businesses seeking to expand federal contracting opportunities. Experience the FedBiz Access difference and unlock your potential today. Call them direct at 844-631-7121. C3 Integrated Solutions. If you're thinking about getting in on big tech contracts with the Department of Defense, you need to prepare for CMMC. Compliance could be a requirement as soon as the spring of 2025. So it's important to start now, no matter where you are in the process, whether you're still in planning mode or you've started and stopped, C3 can help. C3 provides a prescribed path to compliance that relieves 80% of all of your CMMC Level 2 assessment objectives, including 100% of all IT-related objectives, and supports you through the remaining 20%. Ensure your competitive advantage, lock in valuable DoD contracts, and get started with CMMC today. Contact C3 for more information by visiting their website. FedPub Seminars. For over 65 years, Federal Publications Seminars, FPS, has been the premier provider of government contracts training, widely regarded as the industry's gold standard. Expert-led courses offer comprehensive education for all levels, from beginners to advanced professionals, covering essential, up-to-date topics crucial to government contracting. Learn more about FPS and their training solutions at fedpubseminars.com. R. Turner Consulting. R. Turner Consulting is a GovCon growth consultancy delivering the full spectrum of business development, capture, and proposal services from a team of experienced consultants led by Mr. Robert Turner. The firm's offerings include fixed price IDIQ proposals, curated market intelligence delivering scalable pipeline support, FPDSplus.com, which is a free GovCon procurement data analytics application, as well as RFQ Plus AI, which is an AI subscription, delivering qualified IDIQ task orders to your inbox with your own personal AI assistant that works for you on your document collection and keeps your data private. Our Turner Consulting helps you bid smarter and win more. GovPro AI is revolutionizing government contracting. They transform your past proposals into a powerful AI engine, delivering customized pink team drafts in just 48 hours. By cutting drafting time by 70% and reducing costs by half, GovPro AI allows you to focus on what truly matters, strategy, and win themes. Their human-in-the-loop approach ensures compliance and quality while seamlessly integrating with your existing processes. Built by GovCon experts for GovCons, they truly understand your challenges. Want to boost your win rates and expand your federal business? Visit GovPro AI today to schedule a demo and see how they can supercharge your proposal process. The future of government contracting is here. Don't get left behind. WorkPlan is a modern cloud-based ERP system hosted by Amazon Web Services that allows federal contractors to efficiently run and grow their business. It was built by federal contractors for contractors. WorkPlan allows contractors to remain FAR and DCAA compliant. Additionally, it allows remote access through desktop, cell phone, iPad, or laptop. Gain actionable insights from reports that cover multiple year contracts, multiple periods, the entire enterprise, or drill down for more detail. Report on direct and indirect project cost and project profitability in real time. Learn more and request a demo at workplan.com. Okay, Arshiza Meehan unfortunately is not with us today, and actually for the next couple of weeks. So I'll be covering the data analysis portion of the presentation, actually the entire presentation. So today we're covering IBM, the basic company information. Here is just some snapshots from their website, which is kind of leads with their AI piece. So they are, I'd say, fairly up to date on what they're presenting on their website. It's pretty easy to navigate, especially in comparison, or even in comparison to the companies that we've looked at previously, who all have pretty forward-thinking and modern websites, as one would suspect for big tech. When you hop over to their government solutions page, again, they lead there with AI. It's pretty easy to kind of click through their prompts to look at what they are working on. They lead with any of the defense work that they're doing, with case studies and more. So again, if you were looking at partnering, subcontracting, joint venture, mentor protege, however you want to call it, with IBM, I would encourage you to spend a good chunk of time there, sign up for their newsletter, look at the events that they're attending, subscribe to Google Alerts, look at the case studies for their government practice. And public sector practice is going to include federal, state, local, as well as you can see here, some work that they're doing over in the UK and other foreign governments. But it's important just to be well versed in what they're doing. As far as AI initiatives, as I mentioned, the main slide or the main page on their website starts basically with AI. They've got a lot of different components under AI and data here that, again, I'd encourage you to read up on before you decide to have a conversation with them or ask them to even consider you as a subcontractor. Set yourself aside from the other companies that are simply just registering and looking for some sort of handout because they have a checkbox. Again, here, this is just more information on AI and what they're doing. Information here on defense simulation analytical services, basically what they're doing with Department of Defense and other applications that they've got. Some work here that they do with Red Hat, Maximo, and then just their defense transformation consulting. Again, I'd encourage you to click through these, read on these, look at the work that Red Hat is doing in the government sector. If you find that kind of what you read in that modernization piece resonates with your capabilities or that you can provide something complementary, again, just encourage you to be as knowledgeable as possible before you have that conversation. Again, here's the case studies. They go, as you click through them on each of the pictures, they will give you more detail about the work that they're doing. Again, more of the same. And what we see over on LinkedIn is just the main IBM page. They do not have an IBM public sector page, but they do have one for their data and AI. I'd encourage you to follow both and stay abreast of any news updates that are posted there on LinkedIn, which should mirror what they've got on their homepage for under news. When we look at their stock price, again, we're not encouraging anyone to purchase or sell the stock. If you have previously acquired it, it's just an overall view of the company, being aware that they are publicly traded on the NASDAQ. The top 5 institutional holders, all of these organizations, and all of them that you see here have been also represented in the past 5 webinars that we did on the earlier companies for those that were publicly traded. And we'll probably see them as major stockholders in the upcoming webinars as well, I would suspect. Current stock price is pretty healthy at over $200. When we look back over time, going back to a very long time ago, the 1960s, or perhaps even take us back to the 50s, we see some healthy growth with the advent of the computer and basically how they started their business, with some dips along the way, but nothing that causes any major concern. When we look at the lobbying information, we grab that data from a public website, which is called Open Secrets. They spend about 5.6 million, or they did actually in 2023, and that includes their subsidiaries as well. Nothing overly dramatic here. Some big spend back in 2003 through about, we'll say 2007, and then some, and then a major dip when we got to 2008. 2024 is really just started. This mirrors the federal fiscal year. Number of lobbyists is what you see in the purple dots with lines across them. So you see in 2021 they had a it's probably, I guess, where they would peak at the use of lobbyists, but the dollars spent weren't astronomical, so it was probably spread out over the course of several lobbying firms and or individual lobbyists. To go back and look at those issues, I'm not sure exactly what was happening during these times, but or during those times, but again, just gives you a better snapshot. Okay, when we look at SAM.gov, System for Award Management, this is the UEI number that we're pulling for IBM. And so these are the combined contracts looking at civilian, defense, and independent agencies. And we're going to see a pretty equal split between defense and civilian. And I'm going to pull up my notes here from when I was looking at the data earlier to give you guys a better picture here of kind of where their contracts are. And it's a lot more robust than what we've seen with some of the other companies from the previous webinars. So leading the way and leading the charge here is the VA, who's spending a significant amount of money with IBM. If we look back at their fiscal year 2020 dollars through to fiscal year 2024, we see exponential growth there. Treasury is pretty steady with some growth in 2024. Also steady are Justice, Department of Justice, DHS, and Department of Ed. HHS and Commerce do see some dips, so we're not sure what's happening there. OPM and Ag and Treasury are a little bit erratic with some growth and then some dips, but nothing that's affecting their bottom line so much. When we look at the actual totals, you know, they hover around the, let's say, 500,000, you know, or 500 million mark, give or take 100 million or so. But these numbers will, when we look at the Department of Defense work, you'll see that these are somewhat similar, kind of in the same range. So they're pretty evenly split, which I guess is good for any volatility in spend that is either increased or decreased over civilian or defense, that they're not too heavy in one sector. When we look at the independent agencies, a little bit less when we look at the sector totals, but still a significant amount of money. As far as the independent, what I've got written down here is a dip in the totals for 2023. The bulk of the business, as you can see here on the screen, is with Social Security Administration, GSA, and AID. They carry about 90% of the revenue, with AID just really popping up with significant numbers in 2024. Middle of the pack is National Archives, Railroad Retirement Board, FCC, and the SEC. And then below that, you kind of get into, you know, some smaller dollars with NASA, Smithsonian, and some others that just kind of have some hits kind of here and there. But again, the bulk of the work, SSA, GSA, and AID should be interesting to see if AID continues their spend, and maybe even going back to look at what they spent in 2020. Not that it was a lot there, but they kind of, you know, show up as a blip on the radar every once in a while, but we'll dig into these a little bit further now. On the defense side, as I mentioned, these numbers also kind of hover around the 500 million mark, not quite scratching it just yet, with a little bit less in revenue on the fiscal year 2024 numbers. The bulk of the work is, as you can see here, with the Navy. Significant growth there from 2020 to 2021, and the trend more or less continues. Air Force, I'm sorry, Navy has the growth, Army has the dip, Air Force has a dip, DLA has some growth in 2021, but then a dip. So again, the takeaway here would just be that they are, I'd say they've got tentacles into all of the departments and agencies that they need to, and it's going to be interesting to follow where they land this current fiscal year. Some other information here, when we look at their industry codes, as you would suspect, computer programming, computer design, engineering, other computer related services, data processing, etc. With the bulk of the work with a 541, 511 NAICS code, and some dips and spikes kind of along the way. So when we cross-reference this with the agencies and the PSC codes, it gives you kind of a better picture of what they're doing, but nothing that's a red flag or we'll say out of the ordinary for what you would expect from IBM. We're not seeing any landscaping or anything like that. When we look at their contract vehicles, this is where you're going to map back some of that data and revenue to GSA as well as the Navy, where you can see the Navy Seaport Next Gen contract vehicle, GSA Alliant 2, and then you've got the CIO SP3, ITES, and NASA SOUP. So they've got some revenue there over the years and pretty steady as well. So they're doing a good job of using contract vehicles, and they've got quite a few. These are just the top 5. There's going to be more than that, so it's incumbent upon you if you're going to do business with them to find out what contract vehicles they're on and look at their associated pricing. Some of the other organizations that we've looked at over the past couple of weeks had reported subcontracts, but when we look at these are subcontracts to IBM, not the subcontracts that IBM has awarded. So this is where IBM again is a sub, so SAIC and some of the other companies here that should be household names: KPMG, Mantech, Booz Allen, HP, Harris, CGI Federal. So, and CGI Federal shows up twice. Not sure why that is at the second spot, and then also the last spot. Maybe one is defense, one is civilian. We'll have to go back and ask Archisa on that. But again, just be cognizant that that they are acting as a subcontractor. And then here are the agencies where they are doing work as a sub. That kind of mirrors some of the data that we saw in the past slides. So again, GSA, Air Force, DHS, you guys can see the numbers here with GSA and Air Force kind of having the bulk of the business, and then it kind of drops down to the Navy, OPM, Justice, VA, and Ed, still carrying significant dollars, but the bulk of the work is done by, I'd say, the top 4 or 5 departments or agencies that you see there, including NSF, which I don't think we saw in the independent agencies slide. When we look at the industry codes here, again, the bulk of their work is with these top NAICS codes, as we saw in the previous slides. And now we look at kind of the converse of that, so the subcontracts that IBM has awarded. Companies here that maybe some you're familiar with: McKinsey, this Tech Systems Global came out of nowhere and gets a $4.4 million contract in 2024 based in Hanover, Maryland. So my guess is they're probably doing something defense related, but I would potentially dig into that one a little bit further. And that was really, and then this McKinsey also kind of came out of the blue in 2023, although I'd be curious to see what perhaps they were doing before 2020, if there was something that maybe was recompeted and they lost, and now they're kind of back in the mix. So keep an eye on those numbers, and just always look at the growth and the dips and see where it is that your business could either partner with any of these subcontractors. There's nothing wrong with being a tier 2 or tier 3 subcontractor. Your margins will be a little bit slimmer, but potentially it's a good way to start and build some relationships as well as past performance. Exhibit 53, what is Exhibit 53? It's some guidance that was put out during the Obama administration on IT and e-government. And so we take a look at the intersection here of what IBM did in that regard. and some dollars associated with that. And so you can kind of read the slides there with some DISA and TSA, the JAG core, and these sort of things. So again, these are just high-level data points to get you started and rolling, and to give you some, give you a little push in your market research as you are attempting to potentially work with IBM, should your business provide something that's complementary or help them in any way. As far as federal sector news, just some work that they're doing. It was a fairly recent news clip there over at one of the national labs related to AI and weather and climate. Here's some more information on what they're doing with AI for their federal clients. Again, I'd encourage you to sign up for these newsletters. If you're kind of tracking everything in the federal government, if IBM is kind of on your target list, you should have a reason for why they are, and you should be aware of who the players are, and really dig into these articles so that you know kind of who's who. You've already gotten 2 names here for folks within IBM. You should know these people's names and have sleuthed them on LinkedIn and all the rest. When we look at going back to their website, looking at the events, they're potentially over at the AUSA conference here in DC this week. I'd be surprised if they weren't, considering the revenue that they do with DoD. They've also got this tech exchange happening in Las Vegas. It looks like that's next week. I also grabbed a screenshot of how to register to do business with them. Again, I would encourage you to have a reason before, and the reason would be a specific solicitation of what is it that you're going to do and what is it that they are going to do, and make sure that you have a capability statement that is tailored towards that solicitation. But on their global procurement site, if you click on the supplier portal, that'll take you over to their supplier diversity, which I guess is what people are calling it these days, and you can register there to do business with them. It takes you through some prompts where you put in your information. And again, we want to thank our friends over at GovSpend, Fed Consult, for helping us pull some of these slides and data together. Today's webinar will be on our website, as well as it'll first be on the YouTube channel, so sign up to, it doesn't cost you anything, just 30 seconds of your time or less to subscribe to the channel and get alerts of our webinars. We do want to remind everybody that our sponsorship and advertising opportunities are sold out for the Monday, December 9th event at the Kennedy Center. We expect 300 to 400 people there for networking, including heavy on defense department, includes the Air Force, the Army, NAVAIR, NAVC, Army National Guard, Defense Counterintelligence Agency, and many others, including Amtrak, USAID, the SBA. Who am I forgetting? Probably somebody. I apologize. And we want to thank our friends over at BidSpeed for partnering with us on the event, as well as the Virginia Apex Accelerator for being an in-kind sponsor. That's it for today. If you've watched this webinar on our YouTube channel, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you, and we hope to see you next week. Thank you.